Shout out to my cuz, man. A1 done. I'd like to welcome y'all to the LK Sport Podcast. On this episode, we'll be going over the past two games of the NBA Finals versus Denver. Denver versus Miami. Also, we'll be playing a game called NBA GM. We're going to pick three teams that we'll like to be the GM for next year or going forward. And three teams we wouldn't like to be their GM going forward. So, that should be fun. G-Money, what's happening?
What's up? Subscribe. Oh, wait, I'm too early.
Hey, man, come on,
subscribe. If you're watching now, subscribe now before you get to the end.
Yeah, we need it. We're trying to get up there. Come on with it. For sure. Before we get started,
Breaking news.
How you feel about Frank Vogel being the coach of the Phoenix Suns?
I think he's a good coach. I think he's fine. I mean, for that, to be honest, I don't think it really really matters who's going to be the coach of that team. Ultimately, I might go coach the team. They hire me. They give me like.
Coaching matter.
They give me $250. No, it does. I know. It does. It does to a certain. I think it can make a difference, but I'm more joking. But I think Vogel's fine. He won a championship with the Lakers. He was good in Indiana. He's always been. He's a solid coach. He's not, he's not Eric Spoelstra or Pops or anything like that, but he's a good coach. I think he got a little raw deal with the Lakers actually, but so.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring some defense to Phoenix. I think like I said,
and they kept Young too, and they kept him. He's now the highest paid assistant coach in basketball. So
I think that they got the tools to win it. They got the coaching, they got the experience. Then you always got KD and Devin Booker, and then they're gonna have to make a decision if they're gonna bring DeAndre back and Chris Paul and get some of those vet minimum guys and the mid-level exceptions in there and all that stuff. And I feel like Phoenix will be one of those 50-plus win teams next year, and we see how it goes.
For sure. They'll probably be one of the favorites. I'm sure when the season ends, they'll be in the top three for the favorites next year would be my guess.
For sure.
If they're not already.
We didn't do it before, but Monty Williams signed that big boy contract to coach the Detroit Pistons. That was a lot of money to turn down. I don't give a damn. I would have took that job too. I ain't gonna lie. So, what is it like for 4 years, $7-8 million?
Something like that. I think it's one of the higher paid coaching deals that they've had so far. So
for sure, Monty Williams contract is 6 years, $78.5 million, $13 million a year to be a head coach in it.
How about Benzema's contract to go play in Saudi Arabia, just changing sports 3 years, $643 million. That's Saudi money, man. That's Saudi money. That's Saudi money. People talk about the Saudi Arabia. We can't take that.
Golf and all that.
People get like all mad about people get all mad because of what they represent. I'm like, who's turning down that kind of money?
Yeah, like I said, they got that liquid gold over there, man.
600 for 3 years. 3 years.
That's ridiculous. I'm finna go put a soccer ball.
Yeah, Jax, man, you better get him playing some soccer, man. Screwing football and stuff like that. Get him playing soccer.
Yeah, I looked at that number and I couldn't believe it. I said, I thought it was a misprint, like Bleacher Report being funny. I was like,
I had heard originally it was 2 years, $400 million, and then I heard the other news of the 3 years. I'm like, Jeez Louise. But
like you say, they live in money, they print money over there in Saudi Arabia. Then I know we going into news now, but
so the WWE does the same thing. They go over there and do what they know. Shawn Michaels came out of retirement to wrestle over there because they threw all that money at him. Like it's a different world.
And I just read listening on the radio. I don't even know how I love podcasting. Well, this is what I'm doing, but I've been listening to different ones. They were speaking about how Saudi Arabia's locking up the oil again, so gas gonna go back up tremendously soon, and all this stuff. So it's all politics and money, right? I know, right? Awesome. But let's get to it, man. Let's get to the nitty gritty things of the NBA Finals. Game one, Denver took it. Matter of fact, let me get to my notes. I'm unprepared here. Here we go. 104-93, Denver Nuggets won game one. Jokic triple-double. Aaron played well. MPJ played well. He had 14-13. You got Murray gave you 26 and 10. Then you had Bam. It's the highlight of, well, you can say Gabe was a highlight for Miami in that game. Well,
He played well in game one.
Yeah. Bam gave you 26, 13, and 5 on 25 shots, so the efficiency wasn't quite there. But, I mean, the way they was playing him, he had to take some of these shots. He missed some bunnies in there as well. Gabe Vincent gave you 19, 2, and 5, and Jimmy gave you 13, 7, and 7. Bad part of the Miami game one, Caleb Martin came back down to earth, 1 and 7, and you seen what his position is in here. Gordon Murray standing in the corner. If he's open, he's shooting, and Struce was 0 for 10.
Yeah, he was awful.
So that was the big thing.
And they were getting open. They were getting looks too. They were getting good looks in that first game too. And I mean, I don't think they were just. I don't even think that final score was they won by a lot. I don't even think the game probably wasn't even really that close. But yeah, that was looked like it was maybe over after that game.
Yeah, you was very high. But when I watched that game, I got on my notes here. I said. I came out the game thinking Miami has a chance because if Struce goes 2 for 10 and Caleb he went 1 for 7. Say if he goes 3 for 8 and hit a couple trades, Struce hit a couple trades, that's what 12 points, and we talking about a win, but it wouldn't quite went that way technically because it'd been 105-104. But we'd be having a better game right now. It would have been, they sat some bench players, like I said, the score don't. Reflect
I don't even think it was really that close that game.
Highsmith had 20 points. 18 points. He played 20-plus minutes in game one. So, and then in game two, as we transitioning, he didn't even play with 6 minutes, which Spoelstra switched it up, took Caleb Martin out the starting lineup, put K-Love. K-Love gave him a body, the bump with why can't I think of his name? Jokic. And then he also on the picks, he can guard Gordon. Gordon, game one, was getting those picks on them little guys, and Gabe Vincent and Struce and those guys that's really not great defenders down there. They would pick him off and put him in the post against Duncan Robinson. Them guys, he was getting layups all first half. Game one. This game, they took Caleb Martin out, inserted Kevin Love. So when they did those picks, while Bam could stay and shadow Jokic, Love would switch to whoever, the smaller guy that ended up getting put on Gordon. And then that stopped a lot of this game. And like I said, plus K-Love, his numbers was 6, 10, and 1. It don't sound like much, but it was much needed for them.
Yeah, and only 22 minutes too. So that he was when he was out there, he was a big factor.
Yeah, he had some great outlet passes. Got one of his outlet pass led to a clear plat foul on Bam. They got 2 points and the ball back. And like I said, I know I'm speaking a lot. I'm going to let you get in here, but Bam, I'm going to go through the stats right quickly. Game 2, Bam had 21, 9, and 4. Jimmy had 21, 4, and 9. He was 3 for 13 at one point. Second half, he picked it up. Gabe Vincent gave you 23 and 3 assists. 67% shooting from the field, which is amazing. Struce gave you 14, 2, and 6. Big difference from going 0 to 10, getting you 14 points and 6 assists. Joker gave you 41, 11, and 4. Jamal only gave you 18, 4, and 10. Aaron gave you 12, 7, and 2. MPJ and KCP stuck up the joint for Denver. You're going to need these guys to at least give you what you want. You want to say at least 7, 8 points apiece. MPJ, I don't know what he was going through this game, but you can tell sometimes when he's not there. Like, it's just not happening for him. And KCP, he had some crucial fouls on some guys on 3-pointers.
He was in foul trouble a lot of the game. So
yeah, he fouled a couple 3-point shots, one on Lowry and one on I want to say Gabe, but I don't think it was Gabe. But yeah, a lot of mental mistakes. I know you've heard the thing they said, make Joker a scorer and not a distributor, and you can win games, and it worked. But
for that game.
Yeah, go ahead and you can speak.
No, it's good. And then Duncan Robinson only had 10 points, but he had 8 in the fourth quarter, which 8 big points. He had an 8-2, I think an 8-0 run where he scored 8 in a row himself or something like that. So that was he didn't do much all game, but he came up big at the end. Yeah, I think that seems to be the popular opinion out there is if you can limit Jokic, let him get his and just don't let because when those other guys get in rhythm, they're almost unbeatable when those guys are going. If he's getting his 25 and 10 plus assists, he's always going to get his rebounds. You're not going to stop that. But if you can make him a scorer, it looks like that maybe is the. But again, he's so smart and he's so good. Like he'll adjust to this now, and then they try to do that, and he'll do something different, and then Spoelstra being the good coach that he is, he'll probably have to adjust and things like that. So, I still think Denver wins this in like 5 or 6 games, but, it just shows you, you just can't count this Miami team out. They're just too gritty, too well coached.
So, let me ask you a question. The first episode I asked you the percentage you gave them, it was what, 5% you said or something like that?
Was it that low? Was it 10? Somewhere I think it was low.
Okay, so we're gonna say 10.
Okay.
Do that percentage go up or you still give them 10%?
Yeah. 20?
20 now?
20? 25. I still think Denver. I think they'll adjust. Jokic is too good. I just think like I said, but again, it's not going to shock me. It will not shock me if Miami, just because, just the way they're just so so good. They're so gritty. They're not so good. They're just so gritty, so well coached, and
I just feel like Denver got to play good ball. I don't think Denver see now that they can't come out and have just Jokic or just Murray or just. I think it's going to take team effort. You're going to need Gordon to score. You're going to need MPJ to score. You're going to need KCP to hit a couple of those trades. Bruce Brown, Green. What's Green first name?
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green, correct. And going to need him to chip in. Everybody going to have to chip in because for sure Miami going to put at least 8 people in the scoring column between Caleb and Jimmy and Bam, et cetera, Gabe and those guys, Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Strus, all those guys put it in the basket for them at least 2 or 3 times a game. And then you got this new part of the equation in Tyler Hero. I read a report today he still had a little swelling in his hand and soreness after shooting. And then I read one report that he said he might not even want to come back and mess up the chemistry that this team got right now, messing up the rotation minutes. So we'll just see how that go. If it's a game 3, he's uncertain. I don't think he's going to play with it being 1-1. I don't think he should have to pressure himself. And game 3 is big to me. First game in Miami. Like you said, I know Mike Malone. He's not the worst coach or the best in the world, but he's going to make some adjustments. He know what they're doing with that zone now. I'm pretty sure you're not going to get a Missoula treatment of the same thing over and over. So they're going to have to come out, figure something out. Like I said, Spoelstra is a great coach. They'll figure it out. And I think game 3 going to be
they went away from that zone a little bit at the end of the game too to like change it up a little bit. So yeah, I mean they'll throw something new at it. And the effort, I think they have to have a better effort. I think they got outworked in that game too, along with all the other things that we talked about, and you talked about it. I think they also got outworked in that game too, which, Malone, and I think Malone is a good coach too. I don't know if he's necessarily the best X's and O's guys, but I think he's a good motivator and stuff like that. And he was even saying after game 1, he said that he wasn't happy with the way they played. They have to play better, right. Otherwise they're going to lose. And then now he's got that fodder to for in that locker room and stuff to get them, for all we know, they just got Miami just gave them their attention now, and they might be, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked even if Denver came out and won like the next 3 games. Like I wouldn't be shocked now if this was like a little smack in the face. Sometimes the better team needs.
Yeah, I can see that happening too, and I can see Miami winning another one, man. And like we read a report that Jimmy Butler's father's not doing well, and that is kind of affecting him. You can see his play is not the same. He usually get to the paint and raise up and try to shoot over. Maybe Aaron Gordon is a big body that's bothering him some. And I don't know. It's just kind of weird sometimes with Jimmy. When he gets to the lane, he'll drive toward the baseline, kick it to somebody on the other at the pound of 3, and it works every time. I don't see how a team don't be ready.
Yeah, Denver didn't They wanted to be a little. They didn't want to win, in 4 or 5. They want to win in 6 so they can celebrate in South Beach.
But if you think,
that's Stephen A. was saying.
Yeah, that's what I said. So, but my thing is that it's problematic on Denver side. Miami shots are wide open sometimes. Like they're like rec league wide open sometimes. And I don't know what they got to get their defensive assignment together. Like I said, Michael Porter. When he's not psychologically, like mentally in it, you can tell like his defensive adjustment be bad. And I think sometimes you have to go to Bruce Brown because Bruce Brown give it to you on the defense and he guards anybody. Sometimes he's on the sides to the guys that he guard. And I don't know, man.
Michael Porter, he's still one of those guys that still he hasn't quite. The switch still hasn't quite. I mean, he's still super young. That's just he's got all the talent in the world. I mean, the guy was the best high school basketball player, the top recruit. Like, would have been a top 3 pick in the lottery if he didn't have that back injury and stuff like that. He's got some. I still think it's just that it's not like, and you see it. You know, one of those games, boom, he goes for 30, then he goes for 5, like he did last night. Like he's still young enough, and being like the 3rd or 4th option on that team helps him right now. But I mean, if he ever. That team constructed now. If it ever clicks for him, whew.
Yeah, that team would be amazing, super amazing. But yeah, man. Game 3, who you got?
I like Denver. I like Denver to come back and win. I do kind of agree with you because I was picking them in 5. I think Miami probably gets one at home too. I think they probably get one at home.
Right.
And now maybe it does go 6, even though, joking about the South Beach thing, of course, but like, wouldn't surprise me now.
Yeah. I'm about to surprise. I think Miami game 3, and I'm going to give you why. I think they seen some things. I think Spoelstra is so candy. He's what's the word? He's very methodical. He thinks things through. I think he know who he's coaching to get. Will we see some of that zone again? For sure. Just to see if they breaking it. But I just think Spoelstra just always keep a little something. Okay, if they do this, we're gonna do that. I think Miami gonna show up for once and be there in the first quarter, some of the fans. I think this is big. Like I said, this is the NBA Finals. I can see a Jimmy barrage coming out in the first quarter. We haven't got that yet from him. And I don't know, man. I just feel, something tells me Miami going to go on there Wednesday night, put everything out there again on the line. You might get it. Duncan Robinson, 5 for 7 from Trey game. It's just so many different little things. You might get Gabe, might give you 20. Lowry might fuck around and give you 15 on Wednesday night. And then you might get Strus going. He went 4 for 10 this last game, 4 for 10 again. Then you might have the Jimmy Butler game. Then you might have Kevin Love. They leave him open. He hit a few in a row. It's just hard to tell with this Miami team. And it's just so hard to pick against them. But then again, you got that Joker. This guy is...
And still waiting for Murray to explode, too.
Murray had his playoff Murray game. Yeah. And then, like you said, MPJ gave you, 5 points? He's down. He's bound to give you 30. Like you said, game 3 come out scorching hot. So, I said Miami and you said Denver. It's just, I don't know, man. It's hard.
Stick with it. Go and roll with it. It's fine. I mean, like I said, nothing.
I'm going with Miami.
It's going to be it's in Miami. So, I mean, it's certainly, so nothing's going to surprise anybody with this Miami team right now. I don't think so.
Man, it's this. Oof, I don't know, man.
I mean, LeBron and AD couldn't win in Denver. Freaking KD and Booker couldn't win in Denver. You know what I mean? Like, what's his name? Karl Anthony Towns bum ass couldn't win in Denver.
That's why you're going to have a Knicks jersey on. Now you got to be a fan of.
Hey, but if he's there as a second or third guy, sure, fine, but no, but. I mean, I'll take him. But
yeah, they shooting.
There's other guys I want better more than that, but
Miami shooting 3 better. Less turnovers right now. They losing the rebound battle. Obviously, they got more steals. I mean, they just like you said, they so fucking scrappy. And if you make any mistakes against those guys, you're gonna pay for it. And if you leave, and then they put that lineup out there, Bam. They had a lineup last night that actually did plus for them. It was Bam, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry, and who was that? I'm trying to put my thoughts together.
Butler?
No. Butler was on the bench. Duncan Robinson. Okay, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Bam, Strus. And they played the handoff picks with Bam, and Bam would fake it, get to the mid if it's not there. You even had these guys wide open, Gabe. You can throw it to Duncan Robinson, Gabe. So they was doing the handoff with Duncan Robinson, throw it in the Bam. Duncan Robinson come out multiple screens. If 2 people go with Duncan Robinson, lead Gabe open, he'll find them. 3-pointer. You lead Caleb Martin in the corner 3. You lead Matt Strus on the opposite end, he'll throw it to him corner. If you back up, Bam, or shoot a little jumper. It was just so hard for them to defend. And I'm sitting there like, Spoelstra got something here. With this putting Bam out there with that second unit like that, it was dangerous, man. If you go back and watch the tape, Denver couldn't.
They got lots of shooters there. They got plenty of shooting there.
For sure, but Denver is the better team. We keep saying that every time a team plays Miami. And
I mean, the Celtics,
Miami,
the Bucks.
Miami winning game 3. Goddamn, I just convinced myself all the way, 100%.
Own it.
I'm going.
I'm
going to lock it in as well. If they doing, I do 25 on air. Here we go. So let's have a little fun.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
All right, name of this game is I'm a GM, and the game is you're gonna pick 3 teams that you would love to be a GM for the next year or coming years, however you want to look at it, and a GM that you wouldn't dare touch. Like I wouldn't take that job. They offered me 10 years, $1 billion. I wouldn't dare want to run that GM and players and coaches and things of that nature. So you want to start off, or you want me?
Whatever. Do you want to do all 6 of my teams, or
no? We're gonna go back and forth. So I'm gonna do one. Don't. You'll do a don't, then I'll do a do, then you'll do a do, and we'll go back and forth.
I mean, I did my don't more. I think my good is more the criteria you said moving forward. My don't is more for like next year. I didn't really necessarily go farther, but that it still works though. So you want a bad one?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want a bad one? The Warriors.
I understand Cap.
The Warriors, the Cap. You're replacing a guy that won 4 championships. Although I know not everybody wants to give him the credit for that, but you're replacing a guy that won 4 championships. And they just got a lot of questions there. Is Draymond coming back? Is their owner going to pay all this luxury tax and all that stuff? So it's just a lot of. There's a lot. I mean, you could go to worse. It could be. A lot of people will still take that job, I'm sure, because you have all that talent there. But it's certainly, to me, that's certainly not a place I'd want to be right now.
My number one is LA Clippers. You got so much money tied into injury-prone guys right now. You have no draft picks, I don't think, for the next 2-3 years. Paul George, you owe him $45 million next year. You owe Kawhi another $45 million next year. And who knows? And they tell you when they want to play, what kind of damn team you're running. If your players tell you when he's going to hoop and when he's not going to hoop. You got Norman Powell, $18 million. You got Marcus Morris Sr. You paying him $17 million next year. Then you got Batum.
That's pennies nowadays, though.
Batum, $11 million. You got Robert Covington at $12 million. You got Zubac at $10 million, Man at $10 million, which I don't mind. They're decent players. They're great rotation guys. And Bones, that's your bonus, $2 million, and he's gonna want some money after this year. So, I mean, they got some decisions. I mean, you got pick 30, I think they say, and pick 48, which is nothing. Yeah,
I mean, those are. I mean, not to say you can't hit on guys there, but you're not. Those. Having late picks like that or nothing. It's funny. I had them. I thought about the Clippers too. So just for looking forward, they're not on my list, but I can see that. I mean, I think the reason why they didn't quite make my list is just because they have an owner that will pay. The guy's he's Apple and stuff like that. And I still think because if that team is healthy, which is a big, big, big if with that team, if that team is healthy, they still have a ridiculous roster. But like I said, I understand why you went with them because I was close to putting them on my list also.
Yeah,
so
man, that Cap, like I said, if those guys don't perform, which is history, it showed they're not going to do it. I don't care what nobody say. Them guys are not playing more than 50 games, maybe regular season, if that, 45. And then you got to hope they body holds up. To win an NBA championship, you got to win 16 games over, 2-3 months. And then it's just hard for me to believe that those guys can do it anymore. I'm not saying they can't do it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's a question for sure.
But you get to live in L.A., which is a pro. So.
That is true. That is true. Make a lot of money and live in L.A., so.
Sure. For my do, I'm going to give you my number 3. I'm going to go with Sacramento Kings. They projected to have some cap room with $21 million or so. I think you got Harrison Barnes coming out the books. You got I didn't know they was paying Jeremy Lamb $15 million. He was hurt all year. remember Jeremy Lamb? He was with OKC one time. He was with.
I know who Jeremy Lamb is.
Oh yeah, he went.
He played at UConn, baby.
Yeah,
He's a Husky.
I
know who he is.
They was paying him $15 million this year, and he didn't even play because of some injury. He's coming out the books. You got Terrence Davis, you got Alex Lynn, Trey Lyles, all these $5 million guys coming out the books. So you got some cap space here, and then you still got your core of Fox, Herter, Sabonis, Monk, Keegan, and Davion is both on rookie contracts, so they're great for you. You got pick 24, 37, and 54 in the upcoming years. And I just would love to be in Sacramento for that beam, the light, and what they got going on and those young guys. And with that much cap space, you can bring a guy in there to really help your ball club and win some games next year.
It's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. They did not make my list, but that is a really good one. I think I probably made my picks, but I like my picks. So that's your third one out of your three.
Yep.
All right. I didn't really put mine in order, but I'll do it that way too. I'll go. It probably works anyways. The Warriors probably would be the third on my other one too. So my third, I'll go with the three good ones. I'm gonna say Phoenix. I'm gonna go the Suns.
I like it
because I think you have KD and you have Booker there, which is like maybe all you, and it's not all you need. Obviously, they didn't win it this year. I mean, they need to build some chemistry there too. And then, I mean, I still think Ayton's a good player. Maybe they do something with him, but as that GM there this offseason, it's gonna be like, who wants to come play with KD and Booker? And they're all gonna be like me, and they're gonna fill all these roster spots with all these like good vet players playing at like vet minimums and things, and. That's why maybe not for the super long run, it's a good run, but for the next couple of years, that's definitely a team I would not mind. Everybody's gonna want to come there. You're not gonna have to do like hard recruiting to get guys to come there. It's gonna be like, KD and Booker who wants to come play. Like,
correct.
You have to make a decision about Chris Paul. I mean, I don't think he comes back. I mean, that's
I read one. They said they're gonna bring him back, but Chris Paul is projected to make. Let's see. Chris Paul projected to make $30 million. It say non-guaranteed, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I don't think they have to pay him. So, I mean, they could also not pay him that and bring him back on cheaper. They could do things like that too, maybe, but nobody's giving him $30 million. So nobody's giving
well, he'll be making less than DeAndre. DeAndre getting $32 million next year. So
he just signed the contract. Yeah, but I'm saying nobody in the league is paying Chris Paul $30 million to play basketball next year.
I believe it.
So.
What's your other don't? Give me another don't.
My other don't, I have Philly.
That's interesting.
Philly. Because they're in a tough spot. They're also a team that has not been able to get over the hump. Is Harden coming back? They don't know. You know what I mean? Right. They just fired a coach. I mean, they brought in, they're bringing in, I'm blanking here. They brought in Nick Nurse, who I think is a good coach, and poor Nick Nurse if Harden decides to not come back, and then because then it could be it's like one of those things where right now like it could end up being fine, but like with the questions about Harden, because if Harden hops is the next question is Embiid going to opt out, and if you're the GM there and Harden leaves and then Embiid's like, I want out now.
Yeah,
I mean they can't. If Harden leaves, they're screwed anyways. Even though Harden's not even that great of a player anymore, because they have no draft. And then another thing being, who wants to be a GM with no draft picks and no cap space? Like even when Harden leaves, they still don't have any cap space because of like the bird rules and stuff like that. They'd have to do like sign and trade things, and they don't have any assets. They have no assets unless they want to trade.
They're paying Mike Scott $9 million.
Yeah, unless they want to trade Maxey. Unless you want to trade Maxey, and he's one of your, he's like your best. He's after Embiid, he might be your next best player. So I think being the GM in Philly is not the best spot right now.
I like that as a don't. I never thought about it. If he doesn't come back, I feel like. I don't know if James Harden do quote unquote a solid and do a sign and trade with them. Who knows? But he can really say F them, be like, no, I'm not signing. No, just go somewhere else. So.
He might. I mean, if he wants to make the most money, he'll do the sign and trade. So, but that is a possibility.
But I like Daryl Moore. Daryl Moore has been great to him. I mean, they have a great relationship. They go back years and years. So I don't think he'll do them just dirty and be like, F y'all, I'm going to not sign a contract and just go somewhere else and still make. But say 3 years, $90 million or whatever, or like you said, he signed a 4-year, $130 million transfer, and he's James is not no spring chicken
Yeah,
no
I
more.
mean,
So,
I don't know if he's getting a 4-year deal even from Houston, but he's probably looking at one of those like 2-year deals, probably.
yeah, like Bronny. He's on the Bron thing, $45 million or so a year, one on, one off type joint. So, another don't for me is Boston Celtics. You back to kind of like the Philly thing. You got a tough decision to pay two guys over $100 million. Then you got to fill out the rest of your roster and the luxury taxes. I don't know. You can sign both of those guys. If you never win it, say next year or the next 2 years, you're really screwed. Like I got $100 million, then I'm paying all this luxury tax money, and I got to pay Malcolm Brogdon $22 million. I got to pay Marcus Smart $18 million. I got to pay Derek White $18 million. I got Robert Williams contract gonna be up. He gonna pay him $11 million. Where in 24, 25, he gonna be looking for a contract. I mean, you'll get Al Horford off the books. You'll get Gallinari off the books. Payne Pritchard currently want to be traded, which I'm pretty sure they can find a spot for him.
Yeah.
Then you got Grant Williams. You're not going to be able to bring back because of the how far you are over the cap. You got no first-round pick next year. I don't think for the next couple of years, actually. And don't get me wrong, being your GM, you get to win some games because you're going to have talent in Jason Tatum and those guys. But then at the end of the day, you don't have no room to be yourself. You don't have no room to put your stamp on the Boston Celtics. You don't have no room to, you know what I mean? You can make some clever, like I said, some vet minimum moves, and you're getting Grant Williams off the books and Blake and all those little contracts, and you probably gonna get some, some Ish Smiths and some of those kind of players. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you don't really have no room. And like I said, you run this thing back and pay both of those guys X amount of two max contract guys, and you never get it done. It's just rough on your resume, I believe. And I just wouldn't want to be their GM for the next year or the coming years. Because, like I said, you can trade Jaylen Brown, and it works in your favor. Like I said, you can run it back, and it doesn't work in your favor. So it's just one of those things. I wouldn't even want to be in that comfortable position of doing Boston fans say you run it back. Like I said, either way it can go wrong. You change Jaylen Brown, then you don't even make it to the second round anymore, the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't have traded Jaylen Brown. But if you keep Jaylen Brown and you don't make it to the Eastern Conference Final, never get to the finals again, you sign these guys to two max guy, so it's just a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, I thought about them too, but I think for me the reason why they would is I think because of all that talent. I just I would take that, and young talent too. The Jaylen Brown. If they hadn't made a decision on Missoula yet, I think then I might have put them on my list because they would also. But they've said he's coming back, and they just added Sam Cassell today too, the coaching staff too. I heard that on my way over here.
Oh yeah, I did. I looked it up too.
So yeah, there's just two. I mean, Tatum's too young and too good for me to not want to be the GM of that team right now, but. Like you made a good argument. You had me like convincing, like, oh, maybe I should have gone with them still, but like, yeah, no. But I would say I would take their talent, but
for sure,
that's just me.
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'll take the win, but it's that after you get in the playoffs, like, they gave y'all the same team again, same thing happened, and it's looking at you. Then you get back off season, they looking at you like, what we gonna do? We can't run this again. You don't did this. We don't seen this show before. So, but I'm gonna move on to another one of my dudes. My number 2 is the San Antonio Spurs. You got Wembanyama, baby. I mean, you just added life to your whole entire world, your resume. You've been in draft number 1. You're gonna draft Wembanyama, and then the fun of having $43 million. What is it? How much they got? $43 million in cap space to play and put around this guy. And you got Pop. And I'm pretty sure guys are lining up to help coach this team with Pop and learn from him because you already know about Pop's tree already. How's it spreading around the NBA? You still got Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. I like those guys. I mean, you got the money to do it. I mean, you got some trade pieces in Doug McDermott and Devontae Graham if you can get something for those guys. You still got a couple of picks in the second round. I mean,
for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's just self-explanatory.
Yeah, and I think people are going to want to come. I'll just piggyback because that was also mine. They had them.
Gotcha.
They're my number 2. Yeah, because of him. I mean, I think the way these guys are talking about him, it's almost like having like a super vet there, like with the Suns. I think guys are going to want to come. Guys are going to want to come play with this guy. Like, imagine they draft Bronny next year too, and then boom, they got, and then LeBron, then LeBron's going there to play with him and stuff. I mean, come on, like, that's
a lot.
That's that's him. That's him. That's the reason why. I mean, you can't. I mean. Because you can't, you're not going to fire a guy because they drafted him. I mean, maybe eventually down the road if it doesn't work out, but like you're safe for like, 5 years. I mean, you because you're not taking it. You're not. You can't. Although I think Pop is the GM too, but so he maybe if he just gets old, but yeah.
I like Jeremy too. If I got Jeremy Shochan, the dude he colors his hair and things. He played well too.
The crazy thing is I don't know like 2 players on the San Antonio Spurs.
I watched a little bit of the Spurs, but I like Keldon a lot. Like I said, I like Keldon, Vassell, and Shohan, Jeremy. So I mean, Shochan got that. He got that defensive mindset and rebounding. Like I say, he colors his hair like Dennis Rodman. I like Keldon. He can play ball, man. He made the USA
That team is going to be way different, though. They're going to be way different in a year.
I mean, I don't think Devontae Graham will be on that team next year. McDermott. I think they'll make some moves, like you said, and they'll go out and get some of those other. I don't know if you can convince like a Jeremy Grant or those type of quote unquote top free agents this offseason because there's not many great free agents this offseason. But you can
they'll spend some of that money. They'll spend some of that. But I mean, and then my number 1 team, which I'll just say it before I'll beat you to it because you probably have the same number 1 team as my guess is the Thunder.
Yeah, for sure.
The Thunder. I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, I think that's. I mean, if I'd almost say if that wasn't your number 1 or number 2 for like anybody even listening out there, I'm not sure what. Like, I mean, I guess if you want to argue the Spurs are number 1 because they got Wembanyama, but I mean, the Thunder. They have all those young players. I mean, they have 15 first-round picks over the next 5 years. So it's like it's really like you have a plethora of things you can do as a GM there.
Plethora. That's a great word.
It's like like a plethora of pinatas from the Three Amigos. I love that word too. But I mean, there's so many things they can do. They can just continue to stockpile picks and draft guys and try to build talent there. You can send packages. You can try to if you want to if one of these superstars become unhappy, do you make a move? I mean, you need one of these superstars to want to come to OKC. That might be a thing, but with all the young talent that they have there, like, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. If an Embiid became, if Embiid ends up, we know where I want Embiid to go if he becomes unhappy, but like. Right. Like if he's unhappy and OKC calls Philly and is like, hey, we'll give you 2 first-round picks and freaking Chet Holmgren, if he wants that, like how do you say no to that? And then even if you're Embiid, like how you wouldn't want to go play with SGA and stuff like that. Like, I mean, you have a guy that made a young guy like that made first team All NBA.
I like Dort. I'm gonna go through it. Even though you give me your praise, I'm gonna give him praise. I got OKC down there. Your course, Jalen Williams, Trey Mann, Shea Gildress, Dort, Chet, Giddey, and I like Pokey. Pokey ain't played much. He's a Russian guy. He can really shoot it if he just got to pick it up on the defensive end and understand like picks and plays and things. But you got, like I said, you got the 112 this year, 238, and you got 250. So you got round 112 pick, and in the second round you got a 38 and 50 pick, and you're gonna have 36 million in cap space. Listen, man,
the world is their oyster. The world is their oyster. I mean, they played well and they were good. They were a good young team this year. Like
I mean, look out, man. I think OKC can move some things around and shake the ground, and
so they can keep building from this team and try to wait, or they can, like I said, they have picks and they have young players to make moves to try to. Make maybe they get Dame or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I
can see them moving along with some of those guys that's going to be free agents in 24 or 25. They had expiring contracts and some of those good guys, which I got to look up for myself. But some of those expiring contracts that's coming up, and look out, OKC is dwindling that play in again next year or near the All-Star break, and I can see them going for like one of these guys, which I'm gonna probably come back to in a minute, but and pick up and listen, man, I would love to be sitting in OKC right now and just Like, look at what I got. Look at my chessboard. Look at what I got to work with here. And it would be, oh my God, heaven. But my honorable mention, I don't know if you got one, was Orlando Magic, since we both had OKC, so I give it to you. Orlando Magic has like the second most cap space coming up when they get everything out the books. If they don't sign everyone back, they got $59 million in cap space. You still got Paolo there under contract, which is on the rookie contract. I like Wendell Carter, bringing him back as well. Then you got Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, all on the contract. Those young 4 picks, and then you got all this cap money to get some players around you. Still, Bo contract is non-guaranteed. You got Jonathan Isaac, which is just so depressing by him getting hurt year in, year out. He was very looking like that 3-and-D guy for those. Very tall guy, 6'10", that can guard any position. I just pray for his health. They give him. They made his contract non-guaranteed for $17 million. So if he doesn't play the whole season or whatever they decide to do out there in Orlando, they still got that piece of the puzzle out there. And you got Markelle Fultz. I mean, former number 1 pick. He played well down the stretch of that. He started getting his game back together. He's not as young as he used to be. I think he probably around the mid-20s now. And that's another team I would love you be in Florida, no taxes. You're Orlando. I'm pretty sure you get all free tickets as discounted tickets to Walt Disney World with the kids and Universal Studios and things for the kids. All these bundles. I'm pretty sure you can get Markelle Fultz, 25 years old. I mean, he's still young.
Yeah,
so
he's such a disappointment. But
just those.
Ask Philly.
When you say disappointment, I feel some type of way because Fultz just dealt with a lot of shit. Yeah, ask Philly.
Ask Philly.
But I mean, I would love to be a GM of this team as well, Orlando. I mean, like I said, you in Florida, Disney World, the family. And then you have Paulo. I mean, then you got 2 first-round picks this year. You got pick 6 and pick 11.
Yeah.
So you really can build this team up like you want to and go from there. So
and maybe they get some people there. I mean, I don't know. It's never been in the destiny. There's always. I feel like I've been hearing this for Orlando for like 20 years. Yeah. I mean, since Shaq. I remember. I don't know if you remember. I remember Grant Hill and Duncan were going there.
Yeah.
Grant Hill or McGrady and Duncan, whatever it was. That was they were forming the super team in Orlando and. Nobody went.
Nobody, yeah.
Nobody went.
But yeah, that's another team. But my last don't was the Washington Wizards. That's a hopeless organization, man. You gave Bradley Beal all that money to be a 1A, 1 by itself, and he's not that. I'm just gonna be G. Bradley Beal be a great 1B or number 2 on the team. He's not a 1. Then you finna give Porzingis all this money. He's not a 1. So you finna have a bunch of 2s and 3s, and I love Kuzma. If he just get locked in on the defensive end, he can be one of those guys. I wouldn't say also because that's a bit much, but he can be one of those guys. But in the Eastern Conference, who knows? There's always a couple guys that ease in there in the All-Star game. But you got a core of Kuzma, Porzingis, Beal, and you got a lot of money tied up in those 3 guys, and I just don't see that winning anything. Like, you got to figure something out. I wouldn't want to be a GM in Washington. Plus, from the looks of it, let me go to their team. They still going to be $19 million under cap if all the non-guarantees come back and bird rights and those things. You got $46 million tied up in Bradley. Porzingis is projected to get $36 million next year, but they're working on a contract to bring him back multiple years. Kuzma's supposed to make $13 million player option, but they're gonna work on something to bring him back. And then you got $12 million in Gafford. You got $10 million in Monte Morris. You got $8 million in DeLon Wright. You're not winning shit with these guys. Johnny Davis, which is a rookie contract. You got Denny is a rookie. You got Corey Kismer, a rookie contracts. I mean, you can kind of try to move some of these guys to get someone in here to help them, but you're paying Ian Mahimini. You remember him? He was a center for them, Ian Mahimini.
I don't know. Actually, no, I'm not sure.
He's 36. He was there from France. Look at this guy. You remember him?
Yeah, no, he looks familiar.
Guess what? How much dead cap he's for them next year?
How old is he now? How much?
36. $23 million.
Jesus.
So you got to pay him $23 million dead money. So it's just rough.
No,
You got
I mean-
Bridget Nunn and all these guys. So
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, and that's a very good one. For my like last one, like I went with I was looking at more teams that are like kind of, I went with my boy Luca's Dallas
Mark
team.
Cuban, huh? You want to take Mark Cuban out of them?
Yeah, they have a GM. I mean, yeah,
they
Mark
got
Cuban.
GM.
Mark Cuban's not. Yeah, he's not. I'll be Mark Cuban. I'll be Mark. I'll take that disaster that's there and be Mark Cuban.
Right.
But strictly as being just the GM, yeah. Basically their only option really at this point now is to bring Kyrie back, which is to me is and then you're gonna bring Kyrie back. They're gonna be. You're gonna start. Dallas is gonna start. They're in that like that NBA purgatory like that. Like they're like they didn't even make the playoffs this year, but they tanked at the end. But even if they bring Kyrie back, Luka, make a couple. This team's not. They're going to be like a middle of the road team in the West, which is like that's not where you want to be in the NBA. You don't want to be in the middle of the road. You want to be really good, or you want to be really bad in the NBA. That's like really the only way you want to be. And then you got to start worrying about if it's not working there. You bring Kyrie back, that's a disaster, a train wreck, which you just assume it's going to be because it always is with Kyrie. Like. Then you start, is Luka going to be unhappy? Is he going to start, asking out? And I don't want to be the guy that loses Luka. I do not want to be the guy that loses Luka Doncic. That I don't want to be the GM of a team when Luka Doncic is asking me like
running through my mind.
I want out, and then you're like the GM, and they're like, ugh, like you're gonna, a guy that's like the future of the league, whatever you want to call him. Like he's right there as the best overall player in the league, but. Yeah, I don't know. I would feel very uncomfortable working there.
OKC, we both agreed on OKC dudes, and they got all this cap space. I'm putting them around off some names. Pretty. Both of them is pretty obvious as a no, but we're gonna go through them, and then we're gonna say no at the same time or yes. Would you bring them into OKC for next year?
Oh, to OKC.
Yeah, since we both agreed on
probably
it.
gonna be all no's, but.
Okay, you ready?
I just have a feeling. I'm thinking
Russell Westbrook. No. Depending on the price for you.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He's a leader. I'm gonna say no, though. I'm gonna say no.
James Harden.
No.
Chris Middleton.
No.
No for me. Kyrie Irving.
No.
Kristaps Porzingis.
No.
D'Angelo Russell.
No.
Kevin Love.
Maybe.
I'm going yes. I was hoping you'd say
maybe.
No. Let me tell you why. Kevin Love would love to go there and be with those young guys, especially if Miami.
He's good veteran leadership and stuff like that. That's why I was thinking about Westbrook maybe at the right price, but and he's been
go there to help Shed and those young guys and just have fun. Especially if Miami somehow win this championship this year and he get another ring and he won't.
But I would only bring him in if he's coming in at like the very, very minimum though. Because I don't want to take up a roster spot when you said they're gonna have a lot of options to do. They're gonna have a lot of. I don't go out and sign any big name guys unless you can get one of like a really top flight player for a trade. But
Nikola Vucevic, which he's in contract talk with Chicago, which I don't understand, but Chicago's going nowhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking him.
Draymond.
No, he didn't be too much money.
Fred VanVleet.
No. They don't need anything. I'm trying to think of how any of these guys
Harrison
fit in.
Barnes?
Maybe. But again, he's going to be too much money. Like, I don't want to.
Karis LeVert.
No. I don't want to. I don't want to mess up the chemistry of that team. Like I said, the only way. There's like
Dylan Brooks.
No, I'm not messing up that with him.
Jordan Clarkson.
Maybe.
He might blend in perfect with them. Kyle Kuzma can too with that young team. Taylor Horton Tucker.
No.
So none of these teams makes you like, okay.
Nobody does.
Jacob Poeltl. I would love Jakob Poeltl on their team.
I mean, some of these guys maybe
can move the ball for them and dish. I would love that.
A lot of these guys we're talking about, they have like young versions of these guys now already.
But
there.
I think literally OKC is trying to win next year. I really believe.
Well, I'm saying if you're trying to win, then what I'm doing is I'm going out and I'm making a trade for Dame. I'm going out if Jaylen Brown's available, or if Embiid becomes available, or or if somehow freaking Giannis ever became available or something like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. I'm using those assets and I'm using some of those young players, and I'm going out and a guy like that. I don't want to bring these guys that are like, I don't want to mess around. And you mess it up. You sign some of these guys that are good players and good additions, but not great players. They're not going to put you over the hump. Then these guys become available. Now you can't move these guys. Now you don't have the space, and it just messes things up. So what I would do is I would sign Giannis's brother so that when he gets unhappy next year, then you bring him in.
Bring him in. Too. That's perfect strategy.
And then that's why you draft Bronny next year.
Hey, why not? This is very interesting list of players, honestly. And I'm just looking through them for the first time. Derrick Rose and Malik Beasley, Christian Woods, Kelly Oubre. He had a great season. I mean, he probably the only person to score in Charlotte, so maybe his numbers are inflated some. But,
he always scores. I mean, the guy can score.
Yeah. Like I said, I really love Jacob Porter. However you supposed to say Jacob Porter from he was with San Antonio. He got traded to Toronto middle of the season. He's one of those defensive guys.
Beasley didn't raise his freaking.
He'll come back. He'll come back to the Lakers for something small. They'll bring him on back for something very, very small. Trust me. Lonnie Walker. I don't know what the Lakers gonna do. They got to bring.
Maybe the Thunder will sign Austin Reeves.
Yeah, Austin Reeves as well.
Maybe the Thunder will sign him.
Hey, it's not the worst.
I forgot. Actually, you know who I don't want to be the GM of? And I was is Atlanta. I don't want to be the GM of the Hawks.
Hey, they really do have some problems.
No, that's what I was going to joke around. I actually messed up that segment because I was going to say them, even though it wasn't really going to them, and be like, I don't want to be the GM of the Hawks.
But I don't blame you, man. They got their hands full this offseason. What you really going to bring Trey back and DeJounte and that whole talent you got with Capella, John Collins, Hunter. You got
DeJounte you trade DeJounte him for Murray. That's all the whole Murray for Murray and Murray plus. For Jaylen Brown.
I like DeJounte personally. I think if DeJounte was his sole thought was to be point guard of the Hawks, I think he'd be a better player. Trae Young is so ball dominant, and it probably can take you out your game night in, no out. But if you ever notice DeJounte with his second unit, he plays very well with them when he's handling the ball, dishing, playing defense, and moving at his pace.
He's a good player. I just don't. I think if they're going to make a trade, I don't know why. I just still can't. Although I might try to trade Trey if I was them. I don't think they're going to trade him. I think it will be Murray. I think it will be Jonte if they trade anybody. And I've seen that a lot of like him.
I don't know why.
Him for Jaylen Brown. I mean, it'd be more than just him, but him and whatever for Jaylen Brown.
I'll put the names. So we got 7 minutes here. I'll put the names of restricted free agents, the team, and do you think they'll be on that team this year? I think we can go through these pretty fast. I'm just gonna name the good ones. Kobe White, Chicago, with somebody sign him. So restricted free agent.
Yeah, they can match it.
Yeah. So if somebody throw money at Kobe White, do you think Chicago would match it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he stays.
Jackson Hayes, New Orleans Pelicans. If you know who that is,
I do. I don't know. I think he leaves.
Rui Hachimura, Lakers.
I think he stays.
Cam Reddish, Portland.
He leaves.
Cam Johnson. This is a pretty good one. Brooklyn.
Ooh, he stays.
Matisse Thybulle, Portland.
Oh, that's right. Because he was part of that trade. I think he leaves.
Grant Williams, Boston.
Leaves.
Austin Reeves, Lakers.
Stays.
That's all pretty good. Yeah, that's really all the good restricted free agents here. Yeah, that's it. That's anything decent. But yeah, I like the Reeves stay. I think they're gonna find. I think what's his name? Pelinka gonna sit down and look Lonnie, look Rui, look Austin Reeves in the face and figure this out. Like, hey guys, we're gonna try to run this back. I think you get pretty much the same Lakers team for a full season next year. And like you said, if it doesn't work out next year, you might see a fucking G League Laker team in 24-25. LeBron going where Bronny goes. Anthony Davis, quote unquote, gonna be unhappy. He gonna want to leave, and then the wheels start falling off in Lakerville again. So that's what I can see going on personally.
Oh, then that would be such a shame.
Nas Reed and Brooke Lopez finna sign to the Lakers. They're gonna have a championship squad, and you're gonna be pissed.
I mean, I'd be happy for LeBron. I'll be happy for Bron, but I got no love for the Lakers.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that game. I'm gonna have to do that again later on the off season when more teams get to moving around and things of that nature. We gotta do it for football. That's another thing. We less than 100 days in football. We gotta get ready to rev up for a big show for that. Got to make sure I have this place tidied up and some new decor, and we're gonna have to have this thing G'd out because we football season is big, and especially we fantasy football players, we love to play that. We're gonna have to talk fantasy football, regular football. Then we gotta get ready for All-Star, whatever, All-Star MLB. We gotta start transitioning for that in the next couple of weeks. With the NBA Finals probably being over by next week, by next Sunday for sure. So we got game 3 Wednesday, game 4 Friday. Then we have game 5 if needed will be Monday. Then game 6 if needed be Thursday. Then so 2 Sundays from now, no matter what, NBA will be over.
They stretch it out.
Yeah, they really
stretch
do.
it out. Well, I mean, because it's something to talk about. Because I mean, I say we'll have to start getting into the football. We'll start having to do it too because you can only talk so much about baseball this early on. You know what I mean? It's like you can only. I mean, baseball's we love baseball. It's so long.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to have to figure something out about that, too, with the season being so long. But I don't mind it as long as I got other things to watch.
What about that? Just a quick baseball thing. Do you think with the 2 central divisions right now being struggle, I mean, there's, Minnesota is the only team. Do you think a team under 500 wins one of those divisions this year?
Under 500?
Under 500.
I'm looking at it.
I mean, Minnesota's 2 games over 500 in the NL Central, and everybody else is under 500. I mean, I hope Minnesota finishes above for some selfish reasons, but I mean, even the National League Central is not. I mean, 5 games. Milwaukee's 5 games over 500. Pittsburgh's 4 games. We none of us seem to believe in Pittsburgh. So
yeah, they went on a terrible losing streak and a great winning streak, so it kind of balances itself out.
And you don't get to beat up on those teams in your division either. So you play everybody now. The more balanced.
Shout out to Arizona Diamondbacks as well, 35 leading their division in the L West. I don't know, man. I like to see how this plays out.
I don't think that's ever happened.
I don't think Chicago White Sox that good. I don't think Kansas City good. I don't think Detroit good.
No, the American League Central is awful. Awful.
I just don't think it's not. I like Minnesota to win that division though. I think they'll win.
Yeah,
for sure. But
could they win it under 500? No, they need to win it at
84 games.
85 wins. 85 wins.
So that's over 85-81. So that'll be over 500 for sure. But I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm gonna do some more research on it, and I guarantee you at Braves Pod, I'm so sorry. I've just been busy. I'm a father and a husband, so I be busy on my off time. So in between work, so got to give you that Braves Pod. We got it, like I said, NFL coming, All-Star MLB coming, and then we're gonna rev that up. What else we got to touch base on? I'm a big boxing guy, so look out for another boxing pod for me as well. What's going on in hockey? Sorry. It's Stanley Cup time.
Yeah, the game 2 is tonight while we're recording.
Right.
Vegas won game 1, so they're up. They're up 1-0.
They was the favorite too, right?
Yeah, there was, but just a slight favorite. It was actually pretty. It was pretty. The betting odds. I thought Vegas would be a bigger, but I guess this is Florida beating everybody. That's how it is. They were almost even. So, but we'll see. But
so
it'll probably be a long series like hockey usually is.
It does. I that's another thing on my bucket list for this year or next year. Hopefully Atlanta gets their expansion team. Also, NBA. announced they're gonna get an expansion team in a couple of years. Announced
We're talking about two teams, right? Seattle and Vegas are supposed to be the cities, right?
I'm not sure the city, but I know he said they expand.
I know Seattle. They've been saying Seattle. That's why they built that. They built that new arena that for hockey and for basketball. So that's all the rumors have been Seattle and Vegas, which make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Adam Silver lays out for could Seattle be close to bringing back the Sonics for the first time and possibility and all that stuff. So yeah, Silver's working, man. He's gonna try to get a couple teams.
We should put a team in Seattle and a team in Nashville. That'd be fun.
Ooh, they already got Memphis though. That'd be a lot for Tennessee.
True, they got a hockey team.
And Tennessee Titans building a new stadium right now. So they got a lot going.
No, they're going to put a team in Vegas. That will be the only right. They'll be the only sport missing it now, right? Yeah, because we don't know the A's are going there, but they're going there. It's not like official, but does they have hockey there now? And football. The Raiders are there.
Oh wow! I just clicked on the link. We got like 1 minute left. We try to hold y'all to about an hour. 20 cities that deserve NBA expansion team. This is pretty cool. Seattle, obviously, Las Vegas. They put Mexico City, Baltimore, New Jersey. I can see a team going back. Pittsburgh, what? What would they?
They would be black and yellow.
Yeah,
they'd be black and the Bumblebees.
London, I don't think that'll ever work. Nashville, you said it. San Diego, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and they don't need any more professional teams in Tampa Bay. They don't go.
Cincinnati. Do they have anything close to Cincinnati? I'm trying to think. Chicago,
Cleveland,
Philadelphia, Caesars. Oh, Cleveland, yeah. Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's too small. I think that's too small.
Think so.
I mean, Oklahoma
Kansas City.
Oklahoma City. Yeah, I mean that's another place. Pittsburgh though is interesting. Just
Jacksonville. I don't think there's a lot going on in Florida.
They don't need the
Montreal,
empty arenas there.
Another Canadian team. St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean St. Louis. I mean, again, all these cities would be good cities to have.
Honolulu, really?
It's going to be
Providence.
Yeah,
Virginia
Beach. No, it's going to be Vegas and Seattle for sure. If it's two teams, Vegas and Seattle.
Have you ever been to Seattle?
I have not.
I would love to go.
People love it. I have a friend that lived there for years. Allison loves. She loves Seattle. I've never been.
Really? They're on my list.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'll get out. I will at least fly into
Space
Seattle.
Needle, I think that's right? That's in Seattle.
Yeah.
I would like to go see the Space Needle. We flew to Seattle when I went to Hawaii. We flew to Seattle. It was cheaper to go to Seattle than to L.A. So we flew to Seattle. We sat there for like 40, literally. We got off the plane, grabbed something out the high-ass airports, and some chips and drinks, and then we got back on the plane. It wasn't even no time. But everyone was nice. Everyone's pretty much nice at airports anyway. So, but that's what they on my list. And then we came back from Hawaii. We flew back into L.A. and we sat over there for an hour or two, and it was pretty cool. We walked outside and just looked at L.A. for a minute and left again. L.A. is expensive. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Anyway, but any last things? NBA Finals Game 3, Miami Heat's taking it down. We should be back to you before Game 4. Since it's on Friday night, we usually record on Thursday. If not, I'm going Heat 3, Denver Game 4. So it'll be back 2-2 going back to Denver.
I think it'll be 3-1.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Oh, hell no. He said he likes it.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. But if it's 3-1 going back to Denver, it's going to be over in 5 for sure.
Not because I picked them in 5 or anything.
Nothing
to do with that. Nothing to do with that.
But all in all, man, I think it's going to be a better series than people think. A lot of people saying it's boring. But if you're an NBA fan, it's a differential in styles and that we look at. And if you look at the things that I look at, the different paces and the different coach moves, I look at all that thing. If you're just looking for excitement, shooting a bunch of threes and superstars and a bunch of dunking, these two teams are definitely not for you, for sure. So a lot of people saying it's boring to watch. And, a lot around this time, people just watch it just because it's the NBA Finals and it's no Steph Curry, it's no LeBron, it's no Paul George, it's none of those guys that you would normally know. Nikola Jokic is not just somebody you would go outside and be like, Jokic from 3 or Jokic with the pass. You know
Probably should be, but he's not. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
for
not.
sure.
So
So that's all I'm saying. So when people say it's boring, I just look at them like, you just don't know what's going on.
watch, watch it, watch the game, subscribe to this. You know what I mean? Just do it. You know,
subscribe.
You got the second best player
If
in
you're
the.
still hanging in there with us, subscribe for us, please.
Yeah, if you're watching and not subscribing, like, come on.
I do.
Come on, buddy.
I'm gonna call y'all out. 67% of my views come from non-subscribers. I looked it up the other day. I got a lot of impressions. YouTube, I don't know if this normal. Maybe somebody that's a normal YouTube person can put me on game. That YouTube say they like my pod and they be sharing it across. I don't know if they do it for everyone or maybe not. Who knows? But they be my impressions. They like it and they be trying to share it to things that people like or are similar to, or however that thing algorithm that stuff. However all this hashtag stuff work. I'm still learning it. So. But anything else you want to say before we ease up out of here for this episode?
I think I'm good. Just keep watching.
If OKC y'all need a GM, just call me. I'll be right here. LK Pods. Just send me an email.
Mark Cuban, you can call me too. I'm good.
I mean, I think I know what I'm doing with $43 million in space with great players. And hey, I learn pretty quick. I'm pretty witty. So I know, right? My resume on Indeed. Go grab it. So if you need a spot, I've been watching sports for a long time. Maybe I know what I'm doing.
Played high school basketball. I mean,
I know it all adds up, man. So I'm
pretty good at fantasy. So I mean, maybe that would translate well.
Facts. So if you need me, just call me. Atlanta, anybody, any of your GM spots open up. All 32 teams, expansion team. Adam Silver, call me. I'm open. Oh, that's why Bob Myers might bow out. If you ever think of that, why he left Golden State? Maybe he want to be that person to build a new.
Yeah, there's thoughts of that too. Yeah, for sure.
I just thought about that. That'd be great for Bob Myers to start this new expansion team and really put his stamp on it. If they not tying him that he won them because he had Steph and Clay, and you know what I mean. You know how that things go. But my motivation for today: you're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Pretty self-explanatory. Just keep going. One thing I've learned in this life is we are creatures of habits. When things get hard, you go to your mind goes to your training and like things, trauma and things you've been through, and you adapt to it very quickly. So once God puts you through a certain situation, He's not gonna put you nothing that you can't handle for sure. But once you get to that, feel like you're back against the wall and you make breakthrough. It always get dim and grim before your blessing comes. So once it get dim and grim, just keep going, keep pushing. Like you said, you're stronger than you think, you're braver than you believe, and you're smarter than you think. So just work through it, sit down, and get through it. Think your way through those problems or whatever you're going through in life, and everything's going to work out because God don't make any mistakes. I'm a big believer in that. Anybody that know me, I tell them that first off. If anyone pass or you feel like you're back against the wall or you feel like things shouldn't happen to me, why me? It's always a blessing at the end. So just keep going. That's my motivational quote for today here at the LK Sport Podcast, the LK Pods. You already know, be humble, live humble, stay humble, and I'm thankful and grateful for you tuning in to the LK Sport Podcast and give it to them, G.
See you next time. Subscribe.
There it is.